Welcome back to the channel Homemaker. In today's video, we're talking about cozy homemaking that reminds us of Grandma's house. Today we're talking about Grandmacore. Now you might be wondering exactly what is Grandmacore. Well, it's a cozy, heartwarming aesthetic that reminds you of your grandma's house. Now, I don't typically keep up with the trends because I really do live kind of like a grandma. But when I heard about the Grandmacore aesthetic, I was so happy that there was a name for the things I love, and I couldn't wait to share it with you, my homemaker friends. One easy way to incorporate the Grandmacore style into your homemaking is through your decorating. You can decorate with vintage items such as doilies, quilts, old dishes, and old family photos. I just love this picture of my grandparents. It was taken in 1953 and it is such a treasure to me. I also have a picture of my husband's grandparents, and my son Jack was named after my husband's grandpa. This painting belonged to my husband's Mima. I think it was painted for her by a neighbor. She passed away over 20 years ago, and it was handed down through the family to me, and I truly treasure it. Another way that we can incorporate the Grandmacore style is by being frugal. Now, I don't know about you, but my grandparents were very frugal. They were both born in the 1920s and they grew up during the Great Depression. I remember them saving things like the rubber bands off of the evening newspaper and used tinfoil, just to name a few. As a full-time homemaker, I don't bring in an income, but I can add to my home economy by being frugal. One way that I like to be frugal is by shopping thrift stores and estate sales. Recently, my husband and I went to a really neat estate sale and we found all kinds of unique vintage items. Today we're excited to be doing some thrifting at an estate sale, and we'll also be going for a ride in the country. Another thing that we've been doing to bring in money is selling things on the Facebook marketplace. And y'all, it's actually kind of fun. When we did our recent bedroom makeover, we had that old furniture that we needed to get rid of. So we decided to sell it on the marketplace, and it sold in about a week. Another thing we're doing is we started the Dave Ramsey baby steps, and we're on step number 1, the debt snowball. So every time we sell something on the marketplace, we take that money and put it on our debt snowball. And it's so exciting to see that bill just going down, down, and down. And I know my grandparents would be so proud. we just got another sale and we're off to meet the people, and every time we make a sale in the marketplace, I feel like I won the lottery. Another part of the grandma lifestyle is to find you some old-fashioned grandma hobbies. As for me, I love to write letters and send cards. I just got a letter in the mail from my pen pal this week, and it just makes my heart so happy anytime I go to the mailbox and find a letter from a friend. Another hobby that I enjoy that's a grandma style hobby is gardening. Now my garden has just about had it for this year, but pretty soon it's going to be cool enough for us to plant pansies and snapdragons. Our climate is so mild here in Georgia that they will live all winter long. Another one of my grandma hobbies is listening to old records. We bought this record player on Amazon a few years ago, and I'll find albums at estate sales and yard sales, and I only pay $1 or so each. I love Nat King Cole and Perry Como, but my true love is Elvis. I just love Elvis. I grew up watching his movies and listening to his music, and he has such a special place in my heart. If you love Elvis too, drop a heart emoji down in the comments section. Back in 1977, Elvis came to a concert in Savannah, and my mother and her husband went. I still have those tickets, and they only cost $15 each. When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, one of the cable channels would show Elvis movies for a whole week in August. I think Elvis must have passed away in August, so they commemorated that date by showing his movies. I would sit by the TV and watch as many of his movies as I could.
We got a guitar, a bass, and another guitar.
Thanks for being here to watch this video today. I sure do appreciate you ladies. If you know someone who would enjoy this video, would you please share it with them? It would help me to grow the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Jennifer, and Bluebellecharm is a channel for women who love their homes and families and want to grow in their faith and homemaking. I don't know if you feel the same way, but to me, nothing says grandma's house like a delicious home-cooked meal. I'm using my trusty crock pot to make a family favorite, cheeseburger soup. My granny served biscuits pretty much every night with dinner. I think her biscuits may have been from a can though. But we're gonna make homemade garlic cheese biscuits to go with our soup. Sure if it matters for sourdough biscuits, but I do like to freeze my butter and grate it. Y'all, I never dreamed that I would learn how to make homemade biscuits, much less own a set of my very own biscuit cutters. Isn't it so amazing to see God work in your life and to bring about things that you never thought you could do? I've read this verse before, but I just want to share it again. It's from Proverbs 14:1. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down. I think there is so much wisdom to be gained from our grandparents' generation and past generations of homemakers. Modern society tells us that homemakers aren't valuable, that you're just wasting your time being at home when you could be doing things that are just so much bigger and better. But the wise woman knows better. So I had a light bulb moment by putting two different Bible verses together. The second verse that I want to read to you is from Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So what that's saying is God put thought and love and time into designing you. He had important work for you to do. And for me, that work is being a homemaker, and it's probably the same for you too. It just is such a good feeling to realize that God really put thought into your design. He knew you were going to be a homemaker, and He put that love of home and family in you. And I think it would just be so wise of us to stop in and think about these things, because in the daily busyness of life, taking care of kids, taking care of the home, sometimes we don't stop to realize these things. And I think that when we stop and really think about it, it makes you realize that you are doing the work of the Lord. My granny made the best desserts, and peach cobbler was one of my favorite things that she made. When I was at Costco recently, I picked up some fresh peaches, and we're going to make ourselves a homemade sourdough peach cobbler. Tell me down in the comments what your favorite part of the Grandmacore aesthetic is. I would love to hear all about it. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have a prayer request, make sure to leave that down in the comments section. And until next time, happy homemaking.